Welcome back to English Fluent You. I'm Diana, and today I'm super excited to be joined by my wonderful co-host Paul. We're diving deep into something I know so many of our listeners struggle with, moving from knowing Englishes to living English, that true fluency.
Hey everyone. Yeah, Diana, it's such a crucial topic. I mean, we get so many messages from people who've studied grammar for years, they've got a huge vocabulary, but when it comes to a real-time conversation, they freeze up.
It's like the words are there, but the flow isn't.
Exactly! It's that invisible wall, isn't it? You can read complex articles, understand movies without subtitles, but ask you to order a coffee in a busy cafe, and suddenly you're back to square one. It's frustrating, I know.
It absolutely is. And honestly, it boils down to a few key things that people often overlook. We're so focused on the mechanics of the language, the rules, the words, that we forget about the performance aspect of it. Speaking is a performance in a way.
That's a great way to put it, Paul, a performance. And like any performance, it requires practice, confidence, and honestly, a willingness to make mistakes, which, let's be real, is often the biggest hurdle for people, the fear of sounding silly.
100%. The fear of judgment, right? Nobody wants to make a mistake, especially not in front of native speakers or even other learners, but that fear is precisely what holds us back from making progress.
I remember when I was learning Spanish. I'd rehearse sentences in my head for ages before saying them, and then, when the moment came, I'd either forget it or mumble it so quickly nobody understood. It felt like a constant battle.
Oh, I totally relate to that. My breakthrough with German came when I realized that nobody really cared if I made a grammatical error. They just wanted to understand me. The intention behind the communication was more important than flawless grammar.
That's such a powerful realization, isn't it? So what's your top tip for breaking through that fear, Paul? For someone who's sitting there right now, listening, and feeling that anxiety just thinking about speaking.
My absolute top tip is to start small and low stakes. Don't aim for a deep philosophical debate on day one. Start by describing your breakfast to yourself in English, or narrate your walk to the shop. Just get used to forming sentences, even if it's just in your head or under your breath.
I love that. Self-talk is incredibly powerful. It builds muscle memory for your mouth, and it takes away the pressure of an audience. You're your own audience, and you're usually pretty forgiving.
Exactly. And once you're comfortable with that, then move to finding a language partner, someone who is also learning so you're both in the same boat. It instantly lowers the stakes. You can make mistakes together and learn from each other.
That's brilliant advice. And there are so many apps and online communities now where you can find language partners, aren't there? You don't even have to leave your house.
Absolutely. It's easier than ever. Another common issue I see, Diana, is that people get stuck on formal textbook English. They sound a bit stiff, not natural.
Oh, definitely. We've all encountered it. The "how do you do" instead of "how are you doing" or "what's up?" And it's not wrong per se, but it immediately flags you as a non-native speaker, and that can sometimes hinder genuine connection.
Right. So, to sound more natural, you have to immerse yourself in natural English. That means watching TV shows, movies, podcasts like ours, listening to music, and not just passively. Actively pay attention to the slang, the idioms, the sentence structures that native speakers actually use.
Yes, context is everything. You can't just learn an idiom from a list. You need to hear it used in a conversation to really get its nuance. Like, spill the beans. It's not about literal beans, it's about revealing a secret.
Precisely, and try to mimic it. Shadowing is an amazing technique for this. Listen to a short snippet of dialogue from a show, then pause and try to repeat it exactly, matching the intonation, the rhythm, even the speed.
Shadowing is fantastic. It really trains your mouth and ears together. It's like vocal exercise for language learners. I've personally seen huge improvements with people who consistently practice shadowing.
It is. It helps you internalize the natural flow. Another thing to consider is expanding your vocabulary beyond just nouns and verbs. Think about adverbs, phrasal verbs, and connecting words. These are the glue that makes speech sound smooth and cohesive.
Oh, phrasal verbs, the bane of many English learners' existence. They're tricky because the meaning often isn't obvious from the individual words, is it?
They are, but they're so common. Think about pick up, give up, look up. Mastering just a few common ones can really elevate your conversational English. Instead of saying, "I researched the word," you can say, "I looked up the word." Sounds much more natural.
Totally. And it's not about memorizing hundreds at once. It's about slowly integrating them into your active vocabulary. Maybe choose 5 new phrasal verbs a week and actively try to use them in your self-talk or with your language partner.
Exactly. Consistency is key. And don't forget about pronunciation. Clear pronunciation isn't about having a perfect native accent, but about being understood. Focusing on common tricky sounds or intonation patterns can make a huge difference.
That's a really important distinction, Paul. It's not about erasing your accent, it's about clear communication. And sometimes, just understanding how English words link together in natural speech, the connected speech, can make a huge difference in both your listening and speaking.
Absolutely. Things like gonna instead of going to, or wanna instead of want to. When you hear those, they can trip you up if you're expecting every word to be pronounced distinctly. But once you understand their common contractions, it opens up a whole new level of comprehension.
And it also makes your own speech sound more fluid and less choppy if you start incorporating them naturally. But always remember the context. Formal situations might call for going to instead of gonna.
Good point. It's about knowing when and where to use different registers of language. That's another sign of fluency, really, being able to adapt your speech to the situation.
So true. So we've talked about overcoming fear, immersing yourself in natural English, shadowing, expanding vocabulary with phrasal verbs, and even connected speech. What's one final, overarching piece of advice you'd give to someone aiming for true fluency?
I would say embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Seriously, every mistake you make is a sign that you're trying, and it's a chance to learn something new. Don't let the fear of imperfection paralyze you. Just keep talking, keep listening, keep learning. Fluency isn't about perfection, it's about effective communication and confidence.
That's such a beautiful and important message, Paul. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. And it's filled with those small victories and yes, a few bumps along the way. But every step forward, every new word spoken, is progress.
Exactly. So be kind to yourself, celebrate your small wins, and remember why you started this journey in the first place.
Absolutely. And with that inspiring thought, we're going to wrap up today's episode of English Fluent You. Paul, it's always such a pleasure discussing these topics with you.
Mine too, Diana. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you like this English Fluent You podcast, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more.